Okay, Bad Girls Club, Season 12, Chicago. We're back for episode 3. Now, we know in episode 2, Lindsay got sent home, so therefore we get a new girl. Her name is Asia. So, of course, the girl's gonna prank the new girl, putting condoms in her bed and all that shit. You know, a lot of them don't really want a new girl, but they trying to see if she can hang. I do say this about this season compared to last season. When a new girl came in, the way that they kind of tested her for a second, but then they kind of gave her a chance and accepted her a little bit. You know, they weren't so harsh, they weren't so mean because she took the joke of the prank and she was cool with it and all that shit. Um, you know, so basically everybody in the house loving her for right now for what it is. And, you know, yeah, like I said, the condom joke, she was cool with it. Jonica, she meets Jonica. Jonica like, I'm gonna tap that regardless. I'm gonna tap that shit. I was like, look at Jonica just being a thought. And you know what? I am here for her hoish ways. For some reason, I am here for her hoish ways. Like, I'm just here for Jonica right about now. Cause she's like the only one that really don't get into that much shit. And every time something do pop off, she's the one that's kind of like the neutral party or the one that's like, stop that shit. Y'all don't need to be doing that or some shit like that. I don't know if it's gonna flip and change, but you know, I'm still fucking with her right now. But um while the new girl was there, she's getting acquainted to everybody and she's liking everybody. And then Lauren and her, they had this conversation or whatever, talking about who she think gonna be the next girl to go. And Lauren was basically like Jada. And I think this was on their way to the club or whatever. So if I'm skipping some shit, it wasn't important. This episode really was kind of boring a little bit, but it was good in a way because they introduced a new element, the life coach. But before that, we get the girls going out. Did I miss some? We get the girls going out. They going partying or whatever. You got Jada in the club with this stud, right? And if y'all don't know what the stud is a masculine, like, or the more aggressive female. She's like Jonica, but a little bit more aggressive and a little more masculine, meaning that she'll wear, you know, the dude clothes or whatever and shit like that. You know, she's the top in that relationship. But she dancing with them, they twerking and shit with each other. They, you know, they juking and all that stuff because that's what we call it out here. We juke, juke. Okay, you know, they doing their shit, and Jada like, you know, she cute and all that, but I'm not gay, so it is what it is, and but she just kept on talking about how fine this girl was, how fine she is, and red light. You know that you gay. She trying to question her sexuality, trying to say that she ain't gay, but we already know what it is because you was all up on her. You was all up on her. And I was like, Red, you just want that. You just want that. Look, and one scene, Red turned into literally old girl from like she was auditioning, like I said in the other review, like she was auditioning for Orange is the New Black. And the female version of Oz or some shit because she was like, you know, I'm finna cuddle in the bed with Jada and I'm gonna get that, you know, and you know what? You know what? She gonna kiss me first. That's how it's gonna go down. I was like, okay. Oh. But after that, you know, they come back from the club. You got the new girl there. Um while they was at the club or whatever, the new girl is sitting there. Asia, she talking to these dudes, and you know Jada talking to the guys too. Basically, everybody damn near told her that you know they got some issue with Jada or whatever, and we already know Lauren told her that you know Jada probably gonna be the next one to go. Okay, that's fine and dandy. Now they having this conversation with the dudes, and it's almost as if you know I don't know if Jada was trying to show out in front of the guys or whatever, and Asia had said something. And Jada was like, you don't just sit there and do nothing. You know, you got to stand up for yourself because these girls, they will pick you alive because, you know, they looking at you as fresh meat and shit. Asia was like, you know, you ain't got to tell me what I got to do. I react the way that I want to react. And Jada once again trying to come at her. And I don't think Jada was trying to start nothing. But it was just weird the way the conversation went, and then all of a sudden Asia got upset, and Asia, was like, don't come at me or don't tell me what I need to do and all this stuff, and then Jada get upset. I don't know how that shit really popped off. I don't know. It was just stupid if you ask me. Both of them had overreacted, and next thing you know, somebody put their hand in somebody's face and they started going at it for a minute, and then they broke that shit up. And Asia gonna say so. Oh, fuck you, bitch. That's why you gonna be the next one that go home. Don't nobody else in this house like you. That's what really tipped Jada off. So when they was in the car and they coming out the restaurant, out the club, and they all loud and stuff, and they like, bitch, you just got here, and you already getting into it with somebody, you know. So they get into the car. Jada telling Lauren and them what happened about her saying that, oh, I'm finna be the one that go home or whatever. So now Lauren is mad. She mad because Asia done spilled everything. They in the house, Lauren getting all pissed off and, no, we finna have a house meeting. We finna have a house meeting. Bitch, I'm trying to change my clothes. Well, hurry the fuck up, because when we do stuff, we do it right then and there. I was like, Lauren, who the fuck are you? Lauren just irks me because she does too much for nothing. And they had this little house meeting, and right before they even get to have the house meeting and Lauren get to say what she want to say, once again Asia and Jada gets into it and they start fighting. Mind you, you hear that in the background. Beat her ass, Jada. Beat that bitch ass, Jada. Beat her ass, Jada. I was like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. But what blew the fuck out of me, what blew me, was as soon as the fight was over with, everybody go to their respective corners and people talking about stuff. Next thing you know, Asia and Jada, they make up. Then the next night or the next day, you got Lauren and Asia. They talking, but of course, Lauren is not fucking with her like that. But we cool. We in the same house. It is what it is. We might as well, cut down on the drama because we gotta still watch each other, live in the same house with each other. Now, what I say is weird because when you look at the past seasons, when motherfuckers fight, that shit goes on for a few days, and don't nobody, just make up that quick like that. No, we gonna be fighting and we gonna still be pissed off. We ain't finna apologize. And I'm like, well, there's the level of maturity somewhat going on in this house that once they fight, they went on ahead and talked it out. But here's my thing: would y'all do that? If you done fucked up somebody and y'all get into a fight, even if y'all living in the house, would you be able to just go ahead and yo, my bad for this and my bad for that, and then the next party say my bad, and then y'all be cool for the moment just because y'all live in the house? Would y'all be able to do that? Because, bitch, if I punch you in your motherfucking face, I punch you in your face for a reason, and I'm not taking that shit back. But how y'all feel about that? What else happened? Yeah, that kind of threw me out. Then it seemed with Jonica, she's on the phone with her, not really her girlfriend, but her play toy or somebody, her potential, I should say. Because, Jonica has a problem with committing. And basically, she was like, I'm not going to fuck around on you, but I'm single, but I'm with her. I'm not committed. And she was like, but while I'm in this house, I'm going to tell Diamond, that's her name, everything that's going on. And she had a thing for Asia from right off the bat. They go to the club. They dancing with each other, and even Asia said herself, I can see us, we gonna wind up hooking up with each other. Asia also has a boyfriend who just got put to jail. And this the other thing that kind of threw me out. Y'all just got through fighting, Asia and Jada. The next day, Asia and Jada are literally sitting down by the pool smoking a cigarette and just telling each other their life stories. Asia is telling her, girl, my boyfriend, he's an asshole, but I love that nigga, and he just went to fucking jail for gun possession. And he ain't got no motherfucking money because all of his money is going to getting his bail. And I got to pay all the rent and all this stuff. I said, y'all comfortable that quick? That bitch just dragged your ass and you telling her your life story. It wouldn't have been me. Wouldn't have been me. I mean, they better than me because, woo, I just couldn't do it. Um. Anyway, so like I said, they at the club. Jonica and Asia, they dancing and all that shit. They get back to the house, and I like the playfulness of the house. That everybody don't take a lot of stuff too seriously. So, you know, Red was like, yeah, I'm going to watch y'all get it in because I want to see y'all get it in and all that shit. Of course, you know, Red want Jada too. But Jonica and Asia, they do sleep with each other. I mean, they cuddle, you know. And Jonica did tell her girl, or whoever she want to call her, you know, that they cuddle. And that was just about it. Next thing you know, I think her name, what's her name? Lauren? Whatever the fuck, the life coach. She's an L word, meaning that's I miss the L word. Because this season of Bad Girls Club is giving me the L word tease. It's just so dykish. Everybody fucking everybody and they all girls. I'm just saying. But the life coach come in and basically was like, you know, telling them the difference between a life coach and a therapist. She was like, a life coach, I'm coming in and I'm gonna listen to what you got, but I'm here to shake up your life and all that shit. And I'm not here to force you to do stuff. I'm putting it out there so you can do it and you be able to accept it and all that shit. And I was like, oh, okay, girl, go ahead and try what you gonna do. So she talking to everybody one by one. The fuck is this? She talking to everybody one by one. The first person she talks to is Jonica, and basically Jonica talks about her problem with commitment, and how her father, slept around. Her father and her mother were married, but he had 7 kids by 7 different women. And her problem is commitment and being vulnerable. So she was like, okay, your task in the house is to be vulnerable. Red comes in and she talking about her trust issues that she have with her dad who fucks her up. Making her not trust men and everything of that matter. Saying she had good men in her life, but she was like, you gonna leave anyway, so she fucked it up and pushed away. So basically she gotta work on that. Britt comes in and she thinking that everything is cool and she don't have no problem, no issues or whatever. So she like, I'ma just smile in her face and I don't need this bitch. So Britt gonna be the one that's gonna be trying to like not take the situation seriously, not receive the help that's given to them. Then you have Asia comes in and she's talking about her relationships with men and how her father, because in her casting tape she was saying how her father, was a drug addict, and some of his behavior she see herself doing, and that's what she told the life coach, because the father always was violent towards women, was violent towards her, and she sees herself doing that sometimes when she gets mad in her relationship, as she was telling the other girls. I know I deserve better, but I just pick these men that keep doing the same thing as my dad and all this stuff, and she don't know how to break free from that. So that's what she got to work on. That was kind of fucked up and sad, but like these girls is really going through it. And you get Lauren, who basically talking about some people are annoying, and she don't like people because they're getting to know new people because they're annoying. Basically, her thing is she puts up this brick wall, and the life coach was like, "Bitch, we gonna knock this shit down." Okay, so then we get to Alex comes in, and Alex was like, she already was looking like she was going through it, and she was basically like, I don't trust, after 23 years I still don't trust this person, and I shouldn't have to feel this way. And then the life coach was like, who are you talking about that you can't trust? She was like, my dad. Now remember in her casting tape, she was just talking about how her dad is this big figure in Notre Dame or whatever, the football, and everybody knows them and all this shit. So listen to that, put all this shit together. So I'm trying to see what the fuck she talking about. And it was like, do you want to tell me what happened? And she was like, no, because, um, she just zoned out. And she was like, my bad, I forgot what we were talking about. And she was like, where did you go? Just thinking about my mom and, the shit that she's put up through. And I just had to get away from them, because they wasn't there to protect me or some shit like that she was saying. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. So did your daddy? So what I'm gathering from it, there was either some type of form of molestation or sexual assault or some shit. That's what I am gathering for. Maybe I'm going off the deep end, but either her daddy touched her or the parents knew somebody else did and they kind of covered it up or hush touched and put it under the rug and didn't protect her like she wanted to be protected. That's fucked up. Then you get Jada comes in. Bitch, Jada basically said, you know, she was cool. She was a daddy's girl up until the time when she started coming into puberty. Her daddy started changing and acting real weird. So that motherfucker touched her too. I'm sitting here like, and that's what made her go live with her mom. I'm like, damn, because she like, I got a lot of anger issues. And I'm sitting here like, so y'all all just fucked up. Y'all really got a reason to be fucked up. Damn. Now Alex boo calls and you know she's setting up this little thing. She trying to get together with her boo thing. He bringing his friend. They supposed to be sleeping tonight, and the other girls don't know that the friend is gonna be sleeping tonight too. So the friend comes over. BJ comes over. You know Alex cooking all up for him and all that shit. So you know everybody's sitting around having a good time talking, and they designating where they gonna be sleeping at. Basically, everybody's gonna be on one side of the house and giving Alex the privacy, you know, to do her thing with her boo thing. You know, you got Jada sitting there talking about how she never hasn't been in a relationship in like 15, 14 months or whatever because of her issues that she has. And, you know, she talking to Z. That's the friend's name, BJ friend's name. So basically, Red put it upon herself to say that she gonna be sleeping in the bed with Jada. She gonna try to get that cootie. And I'm just, it was just irking me because yeah, they was cool at one moment, and then you know Zeke was gonna sleep over, and Red got in her feelings, and you can't say that she did, and she was feeling so damn salty that Z was finna sleep in the bed with Jada. We ain't finna say that they was gonna fuck, but probably were. But you know, Brad came in there kind of started stuff and was like, didn't you say you was feeling overwhelmed with him being in your bed? Knowing damn well she didn't say that, but she was just starting stuff and trying to play games and whatever. And so everybody's catching on that she playing games. Jada's getting upset. And then Brett is telling her to calm down or whatever, leave it alone. Somehow Jada gets up and she brushed passes them, and I guess Britt wasn't here for that shit. Next thing you know, Jada and Britt gets into it, you know, going back and forth and get the fuck up out my face. Don't put your hands in my face. Get out of my motherfucking room. This ain't your room. But Britt was like, but this is my goddamn house. And, you know, um, Red instigating the shit too. And she was like, bitch, basically it was like, don't act like you ain't never had Red in your bed when you have had her in her bed. And Britt thing is, you know, why don't you just come on out and say that you gay or whatever? You could be bisexual. And she was like, I don't have no problem with no gay people or bisexual people. She just has a problem with people who can't, you know, own up to who, be true to themselves. And I was like, I get what you're saying, but if she's not ready to accept that fact, you cannot push her out and make her do that. And for Red to be everything that Red did after that, you know, coming into her room, fucking with her, talking about something, I'm finna be up in your bed and I'm finna do this and pushing her to her limit, that was pure jealousy because the girl didn't want her. Even though Jada did kind of say, you know, I'll let you sleep in my bed because you Red, because you my baby. But, you know, she ain't trying to fuck. But Red, she turned me off towards the end like this. And like Asia was saying, she coming off like a little bully a little bit because you doing a little bit too much for nothing. That was the episode, y'all. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about this, and I will see y'all next week. The shit really finna go down because Diamond is coming to the sting, come to the house next week, and then Lauren once again getting into it with somebody in the house, Asia. Should've known. But yeah, y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I will see y'all later tonight with the haves and the have-nots. Peace.